Chapter 1. It starts in my sore legs and creeps its way up to my tired arms. This unstoppable weight forces itself upon my eyelids, making them way too heavy to keep open any longer. I allow my restless mind to be enveloped by my exhausted body, and it begins to join its counterpart in sleep. Oh no, please not again, I tell myself. I stand in the middle of a beautiful green meadow, surrounded by a thick forest. The forest appears to be made up of large green pine trees that tower deep into the never-ending sky. The first sensation I noticed is the warm sun on my bare arms and face. The second sensation was hearing the wild grass as it brushed against my boots and pants gently in the wind. The meadow grass was thick and up to my thighs. Luckily, it was somewhat easy to move in. My hands grazed the top of the warm, smooth grass as I delved deeper into the meadow. A cheerful voice shoots out, enabling my ears with the third sensation. "You made it!" shouted a young lady. Her voice was beautiful and full of life. It only took me seconds to look up and fully begin to take in her beauty. I first noticed her beautiful smile. Her mouth wasn't too large or too small. Her teeth were straight and as white as her beautiful summer dress. She had long brown wavy hair that went down past her shoulder blades. Now, I'm not an expert in ladies' hairstyles, nor do I pretend to be, but I'll try to give a bit more detail. She had two braids that started in the front and met up in the back, almost like a crown made out of braids. Her skin appeared to be radiant and white in nature. She stood only a few feet away now, and I could better make out her face. She had a small, cute nose. I became lost in her beautiful dark eyes, not quite knowing what color they were exactly. Before I knew it, she closed the short distance with a dash and a leap into my arms. She was a lot smaller than I, and very light. She meshed perfectly in my arms as we hugged unrestrained. I was maybe a head taller than her, and so her feet were suspended in the air for a short moment, frozen in time. She had a thin checkered blanket, red and white in color, spread out on the ground behind her. On it was an old-looking wicker picnic basket. So that's what I'm doing here, I thought to myself. We took a small walk toward a dark blue pond just before the forest tree line. The pond had beautiful white and pink water lilies shooting up out of the water in no particular order. We stood there quietly taking in the fresh air, and then she began to speak. "I don't want to leave you behind. I'll be so far away," she says with a hint of sadness. I now speak for the first time. "I want you to be and do whatever you want in life, even if that means you have to move away for school. I could always follow you. It would be easy for me to move with my profession." She lights up, gives me a huge hug and a kiss so soft that I could get lost in. I don't want this moment to end, but I know it's about to. She stands staring at the pond while I stand behind her, taking in the scene one last time. I suck in a deep breath of cold air right when I wake up. Simultaneously, my torso lifted violently several inches off the bed and slamming back down again. I suppose you could say I had a rough landing. I'm not sure yet if controlling my dreams is a good or a bad thing. I can always tell when I'm in a dream because I gain my senses one at a time. Whereas when I'm awake, all of my senses come rushing in together all at once. When I prolong my dreams, I stop breathing in real life. This is why I woke like a fish out of water. My throat felt like cracking cement in an earthquake. It's so dry. I need water now, I think to myself. My body aches all over, and I feel much more drained mentally than before I fell asleep. This always happens when I control my dreams. I wake up feeling physically and mentally depleted of energy. I think it's because my brain never fully went into a resting state.